Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we can speak in English, huh? Everybody understands English. Alle verstehen Englisch, huh? Gut, wunderbar. Today we are continuing to read from the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 12, Text 36. Yad brajamanang svarujaiva sarvato. Yad brajamanam svarujaiva sarvato. Lokastraya hyanu vibrachanta iti. Lokastraya hyanu vibrachanta iti. Yanaiva rajan chantushu yenanugraha. Yanavrajan chantushu yenanugraha. Vrachanti badrani charanti ye nisham. Vrachanti badrani charanti ye nisham. Yat prajamanam svaruchaiva sarvato. Lokastraya hyanu vibrachanta ite. Yanavrajan chantushu yenanugraha. Vrachanti badrani charanti ye nisham. Yad brajamanang svarujaiva sarvato. Lokastrayo hyanu vibrachanta ite. Yanavrajantantushu yenanugraha. Vrajanti badrani charanti ye nisham. Yad Bharajamanang Svarujaiva Sarvato Lokastrayo Hyanu Vibrachanta ite Yanavrajantantushu Yenanugraha Rachanti Badrani Charanti Nisham. Ladies? Yadvarajamanang Svarujaiva Sarvato Lokastrayayanu Vrijachanta ite Yanavrajantantushu Yenanugraha Parachanti Badrani Charanti Nisham. Yaprajamanang Svarujaiva Sarvato Lokastrayo Hyanu Vibrachanta ite Yanavrajantantushu Yenanugraha Prachanti Badrani Charanti Nisham. Thank you. Yat, which planet? Prachamanam, illuminating. Svarucha, by self-effulgence. Eva, only. Sarvata, everywhere. Loka, planetary systems. Traya, there. Sorry, tree. He, certainly. Anu, thereupon. Vibrachante, give off light. Ete, these. Yat, which planet? Na, not. Avrojan, have reached. Chantushu, to living entities. Ye, those who. Ananugraha, not merciful. Vrajanti, reach. Badrani, welfare activities. Charanti, engage in. Ye, those who. Anisham, constantly. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The self-effulgent Vaikuntha planets, by whose illumination alone all the illuminating planets within this material world give off reflected light, cannot be reached by those who are not merciful to other living entities. Only persons who constantly engage in welfare activities for other living entities can reach the Vaikuntha planets. Purport. Here is a description of two aspects of the Vaikuntha planets. The first is that in the Vaikuntha sky there is no need of the sun and moon. This is confirmed by the Upanishads as well as the Bhagavad Gita. Natat pasayate suryo na shashanko na pavaka. In the spiritual world, the Vaikuntha lokas are themselves illuminated. There is therefore no need of sun, moon, or electric light. It is in fact the illumination of the Vaikuntha lokas which is reflected in the material sky. Only by this reflection are the suns in the material universes illuminated. After the illumination of the sun, all the stars and moons are illuminated. In other words, all the luminaries in the material sky borrow illumination from Vaikuntha Loka. From this material world, however, people can be transferred to the Vaikuntha Loka if they incessantly engage in welfare activities for all other living entities. Das deutsche Buch ist sonst auch ein deutsches Buch. From this material world, however, people can be transferred to the Vaikuntha Loka if they incessantly engage in welfare activities for all other living entities. Such incessant welfare activities can really be performed only in Krishna consciousness. There is no philanthropic work within this material world, but Krishna consciousness that can engage a person 24 hours a day. A Krishna conscious being is always engaged in planning how to take all of suffering humanity back home, back to Godhead. Even if one is not successful in reclaiming all the fallen souls back to Godhead, still, because he is Krishna conscious, his path to Vaikuntha Loka is open. He personally becomes qualified to enter the Vaikuntha Lokas. And if anyone follows such a devotee, he also enters into Vaikuntha Loka. Others who engage in envious activities are known as karmis. Karmis are envious of one another. Simply by sense gratification, they can kill thousands of innocent animals. Jnanis are not as sinful as karmis, but they do not try to reclaim others back to Godhead. They perform austerities for their own liberation. Yogis are also engaged in self-aggrandizement by trying to attain mystic powers. But devotees, Vaishnavas, who are servants of the Lord, come forward in the actual field of work in Krishna consciousness to reclaim fallen souls. Only Krishna-conscious persons are eligible to enter into the spiritual world. That is clearly stated in this verse and is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, wherein the Lord says that there is no one dearer to him than those who preach the gospel of Bhagavad Gita to the world. Hare Krishna. Ukam karoti vachalang pangung langayate girin yat kripa tangahang vande Shri Gurun dinataranam Homa Yajna timirandasya Jnananjana shalakaya Chakshurun militangena tasmai Shri Gurave namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Once again, the first, the self-effulgent Vaikuntha planets, by whose illumination alone all the illuminating planets within this material world give off reflected light, cannot be reached by those who are not merciful to other living entities. Only persons who constantly engage in welfare activities for other living entities can reach the Vaikuntha planets. So, this verse is speaking about a very important aspect. A very important aspect or very important quality of a devotee. It is the aspect of mercy. Lord Chaitanya, he gave 3 concepts to follow, basically, which is Name Ruchi, to develop taste in chanting the holy name, then Chivadaya. Chivadaya. Chivadaya means to be merciful to all living entities. And the third, Vaishnava Seva, to serve the Vaishnavas. If we follow in our life these 3 principles, then we will be successful on our spiritual path. First priority, work on our attraction for the holy name, Name Ruchi. Name Ruchi means, Ruchi is taste, to develop taste in the chanting of the holy name. The holy name is the merciful avatar of the Lord in this age of Kali. Lord Chaitanya propagated the congregational chanting of the holy name for the benefit of everyone. Each soul who hears the holy name is greatly benefited by that. Prabhupada even said, by Harinams, we can avoid the Third World War. So this chanting of the holy name, this Kirtan Melas, now this weekend in Golokadam, Kirtan Mela, going on, and so many places over the globe where devotees come together and congregationally celebrate the holy name. Very, very powerful. And for a devotee, it's the first priority actually to endeavor to develop an attraction to chant the holy name in all sincerity and seriousness. Namaruchi, the first principle. The second, Chivadaya, to be merciful to all living entities. This is the topic of this verse. No one can reach to the Vaikuntha planets who is not merciful. Why is that? To be truly merciful to all living beings, it requires selflessness. This purport actually is autobiographical. Srila Prabhupada mentions that this is the best welfare work for a devotee, to spread the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. And this is what he did himself as by example. In the age of 70 still, he took the courage to come to the West and start the Krishna conscious movement. And therefore we are here now. Otherwise we would not know anything about Krishna. Yeah? This is the best, the most benevolent welfare work for the humanity. Yeah? To spread Krishna consciousness. Because it not only develops God consciousness, but it uproots the sinful tendency. Like when we have in Christianity the process of atonement, yeah? People come to confess and they are getting some ablution and then they are sent to speak some prayers to the Lord. But they start to commit the sinful activities again. They are not getting rid of the tendency to commit sins. But the Krishna consciousness is going to the root cause of sinful activities, which is our ignorance. Because of our ignorance about what? About who we are and who Krishna is and what our relationship with the Lord is. We call that sambandha jnana. Because of our ignorance, we commit sinful activities because we don't really know that we are spirit by soul. Chivera swarupaya krishnera nityadas. We are an eternal servant of the Lord. And knowing that, connected with that fact is that we have an eternal duty. We have a sanatan dharma, yeah, which is to re-establish our relationship with the Lord and to engage in chanting of the holy name. We engage in serving the Lord in a way to please the Lord. This is our eternal duty as a soul. While being in ignorance, we don't know about that fact, and we act on a temporary, material, bodily platform, yeah? Which is, of course, as we know, dukkhalayam ashashvatam. It is full of dukkha, suffering, and ashashvatam, it's temporary. We suffer so many times a loss. We have to let go of things very dear to us. Yeah? And to also experience death of dear ones with whom we walked the path for a certain while. And the persons are yearning for eternal life, although they are consciously on a bodily platform, not knowing that they are spirit. But they have the soul comes through, the eternity, the feeling of the soul that we are eternal comes true, and the living being is yearning for eternity, but looking on a complete different, on a wrong place, yeah? on the material platform instead of spiritual platform. So, getting to understand who we are is uprooting our ignorance, the root cause of sinful activities. So, Jivadaya, to be merciful to the Jivas, to all living beings, be they embodied in a plant body, in an animal body, or in a human body. Yeah, it doesn't matter. There is the story of Mrigari, the hunter. Once Narada Muni walked through the forest playing on his veena, as he usually does. And then he sees animals laying on the side of the street who were suffering, who were killed only half. And he was shocked. What's going on here? And after some distance, he meets Mrigari the hunter. And he sees that he is the one who does all that cruelty, killing animals only half, and then letting them die painfully. And he asks him, "What are you doing? Why you do like that?" And Mrigari, he said, "I'm very sorry, but this is how I learned from my father." Yes, parampara. He did like that, he taught me like that, so I'm also doing like this. And Narada told him, better you kill them fully, then they are not suffering. Yeah? And you please take this mantra. He gave him a mantra. Mantra, manasa, trayate are some combination of words who can liberate. Trayate means liberate the manas, the mind. Yeah? And what happens if the mind is not anymore connected, not anymore attached to material things on the bodily platform? He's able to reach transcendence. So Narada Muni understood, he knew well, if Mrigari takes this mantra, he will become purified one day or another. Yeah? It's just a matter of time, he will become purified. So the mantra was a little bit special. Here we see the expertise of the Guru. He gives the perfectly fitting process to the disciple. Yeah? He knew, Narada knew, this person, I cannot give him the regular mantra. Yeah? Because he's not on that level. He is connected with death on daily basis. So I need to give him a process which picks him up from where he is and brings him to the highest platform. So the mantra Narada Muni gave to Mrigari was Mara. Mara. Mara means death. Yeah? Told him, you chant Mara. Yeah? It's a little bit astonishing, Mara. But the idea was, if the words Mara are put together, yeah, what comes out is Rama. Yeah? And the Lord is so immensely merciful that he hears only Rama. He doesn't hear Mara. He hears only Rama. So Mrigari, he started to chant Mara, 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 Rama, 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 Rama. It came out Rama. Yeah? And days were passing, weeks and months. He was chanting. After some while, Narada Muni was thinking on his disciple in the forest, Mrigari. I'm nearby, let me see how he's doing. Yeah, and he went to see Mrigari. And he saw him. And he was like dancing over the forest path. And Narada approached him and asked, what are you doing? Why you are dancing? And Mrigari, he said, see, there are ants crawling on the path. And I don't want to step on them. What a transformation. No? What a transformation that soul experienced. The Daya, the mercy, what is already, it is one of the 26 qualities of a Vaishnava, to be merciful. Yeah? This is already there. It is inbuilt, so to say, in the soul. It cannot be separated from the soul like heat cannot be separated from fire, or like wetness cannot be separated from water. But at the moment, due to our ahankar, our understanding of I'm the doer, I'm the controller, it is covered by a thick layer so that it doesn't come true. But by chanting Namaruchi, by developing taste in the chanting of the holy name, and to engage in that practice with all sincerity and seriousness, calling out to the Lord from the heart. Prabhupada said the calling or the chanting is like the calling of a child for his or her mother. And the mothers know perfectly well what the cry of the child hears like, to understand this is now urgent. Now I have to go. Yeah? If the child calls out just unconsciously, just while playing, oh, mama, and the mother knows, no need to come. The child is still happy playing. But if the child is calling out, mama, then the mother knows immediately, oh, now it's important. Something happened to my child. I need to run and need to check. Same with the holy name. If we call casually, the mind is here and there, not concentrated. Hare Krishna, we do our WhatsApp and we do our shopping list and whatever, to-do list. And the mind is going all around the place, but is not staying with the name, and we are not calling out from the heart. And Krishna knows, and no need to come. Yeah? It is that example of Draupadi being disrobed in the arena by Dushasan. Yeah? First, when she was calling out for Govinda, she was still holding on her sari, thinking, I need to protect myself. And Krishna understood it's not time for me to come. Yeah. Only when she put both her arms in the sky and with all her heart she called out, Hey Govinda, hey Gopal. And Krishna understood, now I really need to go. It even goes a little more further. Krishna waited until the black kachal around her eyes were building a street on her cheeks by the tears rolling out of her eyes. And on that road, Krishna said, I immediately come. This is the way of chanting what Krishna wants to see, wants to hear from us. And then he's immediately coming. So, this way of chanting is purifying our heart from the ahankar. And when the ahankar is gone, it is said, Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchate. By performing devotional service, all our designations are gone. They are washed away. Yeah? Our designations are, I'm male, I'm female, I'm old, I'm young, I'm this nationality or that nationality. I'm a son, I'm a mother, I'm a teacher, I'm a student, I'm a brahmachari, or I'm a sannyasi. These are all designations, are all on the bodily platform. What we really are is an eternal servant of the Lord. And by performing devotional service, we come again into that understanding. And the ahankar means the identification with I and mine is washed away. And then this natural compassion which is there in the heart already, which is there in the soul, is again coming to the surface. And therefore, Mrigari by applying the process which has been given to him by his spiritual master, Narada Muni, very sincerely, he became purified. And he experienced a transformation in the heart. So much so that he fully gave up his cruel acting. And not only that, he didn't even want to step on ants. Before, he did not care at all about ants. But because the soul became again transparent, durchscheinend, shining through his external covering, his natural tendency to be merciful with all living beings was again awakened. So therefore, to be truly merciful, we need to become selfless. Means free of the influence of the ahankar. Prabhupada said there are two ways. Either we perform intensely in devotional service, and the temple has plenty of opportunities for that all day long. We can be engaged in devotional service, which has an immensely purifying effect to the heart. This is one path we go. And the other path, Prabhupada said, we also actively need to work on the development of these qualities. Although they are already there in the heart, still it needs our active endeavor also. Our active consciousness, focusing on, yes, I don't want to harm any living being. And the best way to do that, ahimsa, to be free of violence. Prabhupada explains in Bhagavad Gita, in the 13th chapter, he explains what true ahimsa is. And he says, non-violence is generally taken to mean not killing or destroying the body. But actually, non-violence means not to put others into distress. People in general are trapped by ignorance in the material concept of life, and they perpetually suffer material pains. So unless one elevates people to spiritual knowledge, one is practicing violence. If we are not endeavoring in uplifting people to a spiritual consciousness, we are acting violently. This is quite an understanding of non-violence. Means when we go out and we don't distribute prasadam or the holy name to others, or act in a way merciful to others, giving example, we are acting violently. Some devotees, they are carrying mantra cards with them. Write the holy name on a card, make it plastic around, and then wherever you go out for shopping or for a walk or whatever, you meet a person, see, here is a lucky card for you. Whenever you are in a distressed situation or in fear, you please speak these words. It will be helpful. Radhanath Maharaj once he said, we should always carry prasadam with us. when we go out. This is more fitting to India, because in India, many beggars are around. And Radhanath Maharaj, he said, we should not pass a beggar without giving him something. And if we do not have prasadam with us, then we are asked to give some Lakshmi. And then we don't know what the beggar is doing with that. Yeah. So better we have prasadam. But in India also the option is there to go to a fruit wala nearby, buy some fruits and give these to the beggar. Yeah. So a devotee is naturally always merciful, always distributing the mercy of the Lord. And we can become innovative how to do that best. No? Prabhupada wanted his disciples to find newer and newer ways how to transmit Krishna consciousness, how to attract people to Krishna consciousness. One should try his best to distribute real knowledge to the people so that they may become enlightened and leave this material entanglement. That is non-violence. Yeah. Strong statement. And this is actually Jivadaya. This is acting in a merciful way with all the living entities. I would like to end with a story, a little pastime from Srimati Radharani. She was once walking past Radhakund and she heard a yowling of a jackal. That jackal, he was teased by some boys. And the jackal is actually a very low animal. It can be classified as the Chandala amongst the animals, yeah, the untouchable, because he's always dirty, unclean. He's looking very ugly, and his yowling is oftentimes in scriptures mentioned when inauspicious signs are described. Yeah. Anyone heard already a jackal yowling? Yes? Jackal. I think here in Germany it's not existing. It's kind of looks like a dog, but much more weird, very, very special. It has the form of a dog, but a very strange way of a kind of a dog. Between dog and wolf. Okay. Yeah. We have other inauspicious signs. Yeah, but not the jackals. Anyone has been in Mayapur? Yeah? There, in the evening, when the sun sets, one can hear the jackals yowling. Yeah. Nowadays, not so intensely anymore because they don't find a place to be. All the space behind the temple has been covered with buildings. Yeah. When I was there, 2009, 10, it was behind the temple, it was practically a free space. And there all the jackals, they could come in the evening, and it was a concert of their yowling. So this species was teased by some boys. They ran after him with a stick. And the jackal found shelter in a cave, in a little hole in some stones. And the boys, they didn't know better than to ignite a fire in front of that hole, to burn the jackal. He would die because he could not escape, and he would just suffocate practically due to lack of oxygen. And he started to scream. He started to scream loudly. And it so happened at that moment, Srimati Radharani with her girlfriends Lalita and Vishaka Sakhi were passing at that spot, near to Radhakund. Shivkori is the place. Still, it is there, this hole where the jackal was trapped. Nowadays, if you go there to Shivkori, it's when you come from the end of Govardhan Parikram, from the back side, enter to Radhakund. The first kund on your right side is Shivkori. Yeah? So, Srimati Radharani, she sent Lalita Sakhi, please go and see what is happening. And Lalita Sakhi, she found that poor jackal in the hole. She chased away the boys and helped the jackal out of the hole. And Srimati Radharani, by her mercy, she gave that jackal a wonderful spiritual body. Yeah. So there we can see how a devotee, and Srimati Radharani represents the highest form of embodiment of highest form of devotion, and the highest form of compassion is manifested in her heart. We are meant to follow in her footsteps. So we follow her example. She took pity on that jackal, this low-born Chandala practically, yeah, amongst the animal. And she gave him the highest position. This is how we should deal also with all living beings, to treat them respectfully and with compassion, and bring them on the spiritual path. Yeah. As the example of Mrigari, the hunter who got transformed by the mercy of his spiritual master Narada Muni, yeah, who just happened to meet. He was just meeting on the way, like when we go out, Sankirtan devotees, yeah, you're distributing the mercy of the Lord in the form of books, and the mercy of Srila Prabhupada to anyone whom you meet on the streets. Yeah? This is also what Narada Muni is doing, and it has its effect, it has its transforming effect. Prabhupada said if a person has a book in his hand, and it's the beginning of the end of his material existence in the material world. Yeah? Because these books are non-different from the Lord. So that means people come in contact directly with Krishna and with the pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada, and the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. And when they open the book and start to read, even more, they get the effect. Prabhupada said it's much better to just give the book and let them read than when we talk for even 3 minutes. Yeah. So, because the mercy, the spiritual power of a pure devotee is there and will affect their hearts. And we are just instruments in the whole mission. Yeah? And we can pray to become more and more a proper instrument, means purified from our ahankar, to become a better and better instrument in our Guru's and Param Guru's hands, so that we will be also a worthy little tool in the whole mission. Yeah? Prabhupada said that nature of a devotee is to spread Krishna consciousness 24 hours a day. Yeah? Sometimes, nowadays, this pioneer spirit of spreading Krishna consciousness has been a little bit fallen asleep. Yeah? We are a little bit complacent. Yes, we have our little griha and everything is fine and nice and we are worshipping a little bit the Lords and yes, we are also chanting and reading. Everything is fine. We are so Krishna conscious. But what about the others? Yeah? What about all the souls who do not yet know about Krishna? Yeah? So the best welfare work, the best acting in non-violence is to spread Krishna consciousness in any way possible. There are no limits to do so. For example, when we go to music styles, we find any style in which the Maha Mantra is sung. A few days ago, my husband told me, see, I found something very ecstatic on the internet. And he took off his earphones and let me hear. And it was rock music. And I was shocked what he is going to show me. But then, all of a sudden, the Govinda Madi Purusham was sung. And the lyrics were devotional, but the music was horrible. Sorry for my understanding. Yeah. But if somebody is attracted to rock music, he will be also able to find an entry into spirituality by finding the holy names. All of a sudden, by listening some rock music, oh, and then there is Govinda also. He's everywhere, no? Oh, it was Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya, something like that. Yeah. So, yes, Prabhupada encouraged his disciples and grand-disciples to find newer and newer ways to spread Krishna consciousness. And in this way, express true mercifulness, true compassion with the fallen souls and do our part in the mission. We are a preaching mission. And this means we go out in compassion with those who do not know about Krishna, and we share with them whatever we know. No need to speak big words, just to share what is in our heart. Burichan Prabhu once he said, a preacher is someone who opens his heart. Yeah? And what is there is affecting the other person's hearts. Yeah? So simple. You don't need to be elaborate, big, eloquent speakers. Knowledge will think, oh, no, I first need to read Bhagavatam 5 times and before I go and share something. Whatever we understood so far, we can already share. And if we do it sincerely, it will have its effect. This is how we begin our expression of our compassion towards other living entities. Hare Krishna. This is what I wanted to share with you today. Are there any questions, comments? Yes, Munindra Prabhu.
Different things in spiritual life. And because you mentioned that Prabhupada told 2 different things, and that's one of it, to be conscious. And I'm practicing it, I try to do it, and so far I try to understand it. But still I would like to ask you how you commented why it is important, why we should do this. Why it's not enough to so-called unconsciously practice and chant the mantra and everything will happen.
My spiritual master always says, before we become Krishna conscious, we have to become conscious. So it has a lot to do with awareness. Spiritual life means we are aware of ourselves. We perform introspection actively. We look what is there, hidden in the darkest corners of our heart, and we try to bring it to the light and in this way assist the purifying process. We cannot just passively think, yeah, Krishna is doing the job. Yeah, I'm doing chanting and he's doing the cleaning. Of course he's doing, but it also needs our active attention on what is going on. Yeah? Okay, today is the day when I want to practice compassion to all living entities. And we can be assured Krishna is testing us on that. Yeah? Once in Mayapur we had the task to also take one of these qualities and to practice it for one day. And I took tolerance, and it was the beginning of the festival time in Mayapur, where huge bus loads of pilgrims are coming for darshan, and I was standing in line to offer flowers to Srila Prabhupada for Guru Puja, and a full bus of Bengali ladies approached, and they don't know anything about standing in line. They are just very eager to go and offer flowers to Prabhupada. And they were just floating the temple room. No, and I was, hey, wait a moment, stand in line, And then I remembered, what was the quality I wanted to practice today? Oh, tolerance. Okay. Yeah, please come. You can come in front of me. Please come. I don't mind. I can go fully in the back. Yeah, tolerating tolerance is one of the jewels, also the qualities, outstanding qualities of a Vaishnava. So if we actively, consciously work on the manifestation of these qualities in our heart, we are helping the process. We are assisting the accelerating the purifying process. Otherwise, if we just chant and we think, yeah, Krishna is taking away all the impurities from the heart, I don't need to do anything, that's also okay, but it takes longer. It takes longer. Because for becoming a purified devotee, purified in the heart, it needs our conscious endeavor. It needs our involvement of our heart and our active participation in the process. Therefore, we go both ways. We act from outside, and Krishna does the job from inside. Hare Krishna. Yes? Kishori Kun?
Und also so ziemlich am Anfang meines Krishna-Bewusstseins hatte ich da mal so ein Erlebnis, als ich die Bücher gelesen habe. Ich denke, ach, das müssen alle wissen. Dann bin ich wieder zur Arbeit gegangen, dann habe ich lauter Bücher bei eBay bestellt, weil ich kannte ja keine DVDs so weiter. Dann habe ich die Bücher bestellt, bin zur Arbeit gegangen und dann habe ich die verteilt da und kam auch so eine Resonanz, ja. Also manche haben sich gefreut, 2 haben total ihr Leben umgestellt und das ist dann irgendwie so eine Freude. Man muss wirklich so viele Gelegenheiten, die ein Krishna bietet, irgendwie nutzen. Ja, also das ist wirklich schön. Dann habe ich mal bei meiner Tochter, das schräg gegenüber war so ein besetztes Haus, wohnten Jugendliche. Und ja, dann haben sich die Leute da aufgeregt, dass die auf der Straße sitzen auch und da Musik machen oder irgendwie, ja. Diese Akustik war wohl zu laut. Dann kam die Polizei und jetzt haben die Jugendlichen Flugblätter verteilt an die Anwohner und wollten das richtigstellen und sich entschuldigen oder so. Ja. Dann hatten die mich angesprochen auf der Straße und ich denke, naja, das ist doch gut. Die haben einen eingeladen zu sich da in das Haus und dann habe ich denke, Mensch, das ist ja toll. Dann habe ich lauter Pakoras gemacht, bin da hingegangen mit einer Schüssel Pakoras und die haben die alle aufgegessen. Super. Ja? Und so schafft Krishna wirklich so viele Möglichkeiten. Ja, ja. Das sind ja nur jetzt ein paar Dinge, die ich erzähle. Oder an der Elbbrücke in Magdeburg. Ein großes Schild mit dem Hare Krishna Mantra drauf. Schickt mir meine Tochter, da war ich glaube ich schon hier, und ja, naja, jedenfalls, Mami, guck mal, da steht das Schild und die war ganz aus dem Häuschen, ja. Und da gehen ja so viele immer vorbei und was Krishna alles so arrangiert, man muss das halt bloß irgendwie nutzen können, ja. Dann,
Ja, wunderbar. Danke für diese Erlebnisse. Thank you for these experiences. I think every one of us can remember opportunities where we were able to spread Krishna consciousness, to share Krishna consciousness with others. Personally, I always feel very attracted by Doyle Govinda Prabhu's distribution of books on the way. Yeah, every day he's distributing 1, 2, 3 books on the way. Yeah, I mean he's going for work, but on the way on some parking place or wherever he is conscious. He's going for work. He's doing his dharma, but the main point in his meditation is how to spread Krishna consciousness. This should be the point in our life. No, we follow our daily duties. We have to somehow or other maintain our body and pay the bills end of the month. But our main focus and main attention should be, how can I spread Krishna consciousness to others? Yeah? How can I find an opportunity? And this wonderful, you were invited by these boys and you could bring something. So you brought prasad, of course. Everybody was blessed with prasad. Huh? You were the only one. Okay, so good. Then they ate only prasadam. Wonderful. That's the Lord's arrangement. Yes. So this should be our focus. No, how can we bless a soul? How can we help a soul on his or her path to wake up to Krishna consciousness every day anew? And in this way, develop our compassionate side, which is already there and which can be supported by our active application in our daily life. Yeah? Hare Krishna. Subha?
There's also a question in the chat by Matajī. She's asking, how can one develop intense emotions for chanting when waking up?
While waking up.
I guess when waking up, more asleep or more influenced by Tamaguna, and how to have then already this eagerness for chanting.
You mean after the night sleeping?
Yeah, I guess this was the question.
How do we develop the emotions, the feelings towards the Lord? So how do we develop the feelings towards a person? We get to know the person first. We get to know the name. We get to know the what are the likings and what are the dislikings. Yeah? And in this way, we develop a relationship. And then we hear maybe about what that person is doing. Naturally, very natural, how are we developing a liking to a person? We experience this so many times in our own life. And in the same way, we develop a liking towards the Lord by hearing about Him, by getting to know who are His friends, what is He doing all day long, what does He like to eat, who is His mother, who is His father, what are their names, has He any brothers or sisters, what are they doing? So the more we are interested in Krishna's life, the more we get attracted to Him. And then when the morning comes, immediately by waking up, Krishna, Krishna, yeah? It's there, the thought is there. Oh, I want to please Him, I want to be with Him. And we sit down and chant. Some devotees, they make it a habit to first read for 1-2 hours. Huh? I don't have that time. But one devotee told me she is first reading 2 hours in Govinda Lilamrita before she's sitting down to chant. What a japa that is, no? If you have all these pastimes of the Lord in your mind and then you sit down and chant. This is how we get attracted to the Lord. It's our duty, actually, to endeavor to develop this attraction to the Lord. Therefore, we are in this movement. It's the movement for Krishna consciousness. But it should be maybe called the movement of aspiring to become Krishna conscious. But Prabhupada called it the movement of Krishna consciousness. So we have to also make ourselves fit to be worthy members of the movement of Krishna consciousness. Yeah? It's quite a challenge. So, by focusing our intelligence and mind on Krishna, we develop that attraction. Yeah? Any other question or comment? Hare Krishna. Grantara Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.